Let's make DakJuk, also known as chicken porridge. I've added a whole pasture-raised chicken. For the base stock, I've added in a cup of garlic cloves, half a chopped onion, some minced ginger, about 2 tablespoons, and 3 peeled carrots. This recipe will have almost 2 cups of rice, so I'm adding about 8 cups of water. For reference, this is a 6 to 7 quart Dutch oven. Soon we will cover and bring to a boil. For extra umami, I'm going to add some kelp flakes. I will be bringing this to a boil on high heat and then turning it to a medium simmer boil, covered. When it comes to a boil, I will lower the heat to a medium high and continue to simmer while I have the rice soaking in water. This will simmer on a medium boil for about an hour and 15 minutes. I will slightly crack the lid. Here's a cup of chopped carrots, some shiitake mushrooms which are soaking, and some scallion. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes, so now I'm going to add the drained soaked rice. You'll notice some skin missing from the chicken. That's because I've removed some of the fat in the back and around the chicken. At the same time I've added the rice, I'm also adding the chopped up shiitake mushrooms, which the stems have been removed. As well, I've saved the water that the shiitake mushrooms were soaking in and added that in for extra umami. Lastly, here at this stage, I will be adding the thicker white part of the chopped scallion, everything chopped around the same size. I forgot to mention that this pasture-raised chicken was approximately 4 pounds. I've accidentally turned on the heat a little bit too much, so I will be bringing that back up to a simmer now that I've added these last ingredients at this stage. And again, the lid will be slightly cracked. This will be simmering on medium to medium low, depending on your stovetop, for about 30 minutes. Here I'm beating 2 pasture-raised eggs, which I'm going to add shortly. And I have some top parts of the green onion chopped for topping later. Here I'm adding a tablespoon of fish sauce, again for extra umami, and 2 heaping tablespoons of a good quality soy sauce, as I'm not adding in any salt, and this will give it its salty flavor. I'll incorporate that in well and taste it to make sure it has a good umami and enough salt for everyone's taste buds. Just so you know, you can veganize this DakJuk, and I'll list the ingredients and substitutes below. I like the way the broth is working out, soaking that whole chicken in there and the veggies. And so now I'm going to attempt to remove the chicken, in which, because it's so tender, is going to fall apart. And it did, which is not a bad thing. That means this DakJuk is full of collagen. And we could probably all use a little more collagen. Here I'm removing any extra big carrots that I used for the stock because I want everything to look aesthetically pleasing. All the smaller chopped vegetables, with the exception of the kelp, I'm leaving in those nice big squares. Now I'm going to add in the beaten egg, a recommendation I got from Auntie Conjee, who I love, and wait about 10 seconds before actually stirring and incorporating in well. We're minutes away from being done, so this is where I'm going to start to break apart the chickens, take away the skin, separate the bones, any cartilage, and shred the chicken apart. Normally you'd wait to do this, but I'm trying to make this as quickly as possible. It's been a few hours, and the chicken is really hot, so my fingers are feeling it. And if you find any extra carrots or anything as you're shredding apart the chicken that came out with as collateral damage, with that whole chicken I tried to remove, I just put it in an extra bowl, and that's going to be the first bowl of soup, which will be mine. I'm not throwing any of that away. rice porridge or Conjee, Chao or Lugaw, whatever you want to call it, has its origins in Asia as a comfort food, baby food, healing food. And I've got the wishbone here. I'm just going to pull it to make a wish for my family, because people I love, I always want to keep them healthy. And I'll shred all this hot chicken really good and put it back in the soup, which is still hot. I think I've turned the heat off here, and mix it in well. Probably going to wait a couple of minutes just to let that rice get a little bit thicker. As you can see, you could have added more liquid, but that's a chunk of garlic there. I like my DakJuk to be very thick. And then I'm going to add in some drizzle of sesame oil, those chopped green onion tops, and some toasted sesame seeds to finish it off. Enjoy. Bon appetit.